In the beautiful yet turbulent landscape of Jammu and Kashmir, a veil of disillusionment drapes over the electorate as elections draw near. Every party that participates seems to hold a banner of promises, yet each act feels more like a polished performance than a genuine commitment to change. The rhetoric echoes through rallies and street debates, but when the dust settles, all we are left with is the reality of broken dreams and unheeded voices. For 70 long years, the ruling party has woven a complex tapestry of deceit, enchanting the innocent populace with tales of empowerment and progress, only to leave them grappling with disappointment once the ballots are counted. The true battle is not between ideologies or candidates but against a cycle of manipulation that has become a staple in this region's political diet. It is a dance as old as time, one where the influential emerge unscathed, while the aspirations of the everyday citizen remain in the shadows. As the people of Jammu and Kashmir head towards the polls, their dreams of good governance appear little more than a faint whisper amid a cacophony of unproven promises. Vision, real, tangible vision, seems a rare jewel, untouched by any party seat on this arduous journey of electoral politics. It raises the urgent question: will we unite in demand of leadership that genuinely prioritizes the people? Or will skepticism overshadow hope, relegating another round of governance to a hollow shell of unfulfilled aspirations? When elections conclude, we know the story will not diverge from the familiar script, where leaders have traditionally seemed more preoccupied with their close circles rather than the collective welfare of their constituents. The challenge lies in awakening the consciousness of the masses, in cultivating an urge for accountability amidst entrenched loyalty to ineffective elites. For the citizens of this beautiful region striving for authentic representation, the onus is on them to challenge the cycle and to insist that any path forward rests not on empty promises, but on resilience and unity. In this immersive journey of politics, may the dream for true prosperity and governance be kindled anew, not as a far-off fantasy, but as a tangible, rightful expectation of each individual crossing that voting line. It's time for the people to reclaim their voice, to sow the seeds of change, and to demand a vision that goes beyond rhetoric and pain, a vision that shapes the aspirations of Jammu and Kashmir into a living, breathing reality. The reality behind Articles 370 and 35, a call for effective solutions. In the complex socio-political landscape of India, Articles 370 and 35 of the Indian Constitution have stirred intense debate and contention. Originally meant to protect the unique identity and marginalize the interests of the Jammu and Kashmir region, these articles found themselves providing relief to few while a significant population remained in poverty and deprivation. It raises a pressing question: what is the purpose of such provisions if they continue to produce more hardships than solutions? For many residents, the abolishment of these articles was intended to herald a new era of inclusion and opportunity. However, in spite of the promise that accompanied these decisions, the fundamental issues plaguing the common man remain as burning as ever. The seismic shifts in policy have not translated into tangible benefits for the marginalized; instead, they find themselves grappling with ongoing struggles. The voice of the people. The uncomfortable truth is that while certain political elites celebrate victories that come from reforms and legislative changes, the common workers, the laborers, and those languishing in poverty frequently find themselves overlooked. Often, those who celebrate these changes are, more often than not, benefiting from a system ripe for exploitation. The winners thrive while supporting coalitions unfortunately turn a blind eye to the issues facing the most vulnerable. Take, for instance, the ongoing electricity crisis. With skyrocketing tariffs and unresolved grievances, the utility services that should uplift communities become an unbearable burden. Consumers find themselves in a bind, facing exorbitant charges that seemed unjustified when set against the backdrop of inadequate infrastructure and chronic power outages. If the central government truly wishes to foster a sense of goodwill, the approach should flip. Instead of imposing increased fees out of the gate, the administration needs to concentrate on crafting robust strategies that fundamentally improve the reliability and accessibility of services. Prioritizing the here and now. Moreover, the index of unemployment looms largest on our societal horizon. As potential job seekers scour for opportunities, the nation needs a purpose-driven strategy that revitalizes industry and encourages meaningful employment. Instead of short-lived promises, it's time to focus on long-lasting solutions that alleviate poverty and create real empowerment. Restoring society's faith hinges on the tangible results these changes will produce. In conclusion, while the significance of Articles 370 and 35 continues to be debated with partisan and provincial aspects in focus, we should not lose sight of the grounding issue, ensuring that all developments serve to lift the fundamental plight of the people. The central government must comprehend the necessity of investing in the populace, educational reforms, reliable utilities, and array initiatives that promote participation create a healthier socio-economic climate. When individuals feel secure in their resources and opportunities, they stand ready to contribute, pay taxes, and invest in the progress they wish to see. Then, rather than seeing their politicians flourish from exploitation, they might actually recognize the essence of true support, united in the effort to heal rather than divide.